coming for a splash. 3, 2, 1, now. All clear, punch it. Great job, you did really well.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Good morning and welcome back to Turn 3 Racing Network US IndyCar League, presented by StickQuik, on tap this morning at Kentucky Motor Speedway for the first Triple Crown race of season number 6. This is race number 3 of season number 6, and these IndyCar drivers have got their sights set on trying to be the first driver to take a Triple Crown race and then set themselves up for the opportunity to snatch away 20 extra bonus points at the end of the season if they're able to capture all 3 Triple Crown races. Last season, not a chance for anyone except Ryan Bowles to try to walk away with those Triple Crown points. Unfortunately for Ryan, he came up just a little bit short, was unable to win the third and final Triple Crown race. We'll see if anybody has got what it takes to put those 3 jewels in the bag this season. And with that being said, 6 minutes remaining here in happy hour as the drivers get some final laps on these Dallara IR18s, trying to see what the tire wear, fuel, what the fuel usage is going to be like, and they will get themselves strapped in and ready to go qualifying here in about 5.5 minutes. So with all that being said, let's get to some of the official business here in the US IndyCar League, presented by StickQuik. Top of your point standings after 2 races this season, Robert Mitchell leads, David Zaleski sitting in second, just 20 points behind. Jonathan Barnhart, rookie newcomer to the league, he is sitting pretty right now in the third spot, just 22 points back. Rick Lovison right there, Howard Livingston as well. Ben Wallace, 40 points back in the 6th position, and all of these drivers still have a very, very good chance at setting themselves up nice for a championship this season. Few drivers a little bit out of the mix already, but they're still going to continue to try to get what they can and dig as hard as they can. Because you can't have an off week here in the US IndyCar League, because these drivers are top-notch, top caliber, and they are going to get this thing fired off, ready to go here shortly. About 4.5 minutes remaining before we will get set to head on track side for your pole position here today. Looking through the timing and speed charts, looks like Ben Wallace and his 99 machine sitting on top of the speed chart here in happy hours. We watched Robert Mitchell, and I believe that may have been Luis Gonzalez in the 15 machine. Luis, a new newer driver here this season as well. Jonathan Barnhart, already mentioned him, sitting second, or third, I should say, in the point standings in his 37 machine. So let's see if we can't get an eye on one of those newcomers out there on track. I tell you what, let's take a ride around, have a little look here at the 15 of Luis Gonzalez. There he is. You see him in his black, white, and that looks, I'm not sure if that's a red, a pink, or a magenta. I'm not sure what you call that color, but it looks flashy, looks sharp. Like it. Drivers shaking out their car, seeing what it's going to do in the traffic. See about the arrow pushing up the wall. Up the track, I should say. Not up the wall, but up the track there. I believe that was the 07 of David Zaleski, really high up on the track that time by. So very, very interesting to see that. As Gonzalez resets, gets a new car, he'll get ready to go back out there on the racing surface, shake down the car one more time before he heads off into the qualifying session. And with about 2 minutes remaining here in happy hour, we're going to step away for a brief commercial break here at Turn 3 Racing Network. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back with all of your qualifying action live here from Kentucky Motor Speedway. welcome back, and as promised, back for all of your qualifying action. Looks like a few drivers have already jumped out there on track as soon as the green flag waved. Qualifying underway. The 07 of David Zaleski out on his opening lap this time by. Gonna hit the line and begin his first time lap, trying to steal that pole position away. Richard Kelball on track, Howard Livingston, Craig Forsyth, Jeff Murray, Ben Wallace, Rick Lovison, Tim Keene, as well as Jason Lowe, all out on track already trying to put down their qualifying time. So we will drop your qualifying bar down there on the left-hand side for you and throw it on to a few of these drivers. See how many of them we can catch with their fast times. Gonna now throw you a little driver information as well so you can keep track of just how close everything is shaking out with the drivers. Looks like Craig Forsyth in the 131 gonna take the top spot with his first time lap. Robert Mitchell in the 31 just now leaving pit road. Ben Wallace in that 99, fastest in happy hour. Look for him to be towards the top of the speed charts now. It looks like Tim Keene taking that pole position away. David Zaleski up into second, back to Ben Wallace now. Where can Wallace shake out? Sixth for his first time lap. Let's see if this second one is any better, as the 4 of Tim Keene is sitting on that top spot right now. Through 3 and 4, back through the tri-oval, across the line this time by. Where will Wallace shake out? Looks like he's going to be good enough for the top spot. All the way to the top of the speed charts goes the 99 of Ben Wallace. We're going to now jump back to the 31 of Robert Mitchell as he crosses the line to lay down his first time lap. Good enough for the 10th position. We still have 3 drivers yet to qualify. 2 out of those 3 are on the racing surface. Will Stearns as well as Jonathan Barnhart both out there on track right now. Looks like Luis Gonzalez, the only driver not out of pit road. Robert Mitchell gonna cross the line this time by. Where will that 10th position go? And top of the speed charts goes Mitchell. He steals the pole away late here in qualifying from Ben Wallace, but does Jonathan Barnhart, does he have what it takes to knock him off of the top of the speed chart? We'll have to wait here just for a few more moments before we head on down trackside for our nation's anthem, and then we will be ready to fire this thing off and get some green flag racing done here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. Jonathan Barnhart gonna slot in 12th on his first timed lap, coming down the backstretch on what should be his fastest lap. All the drivers improving on their second lap, so look for this lap to be quite a bit faster. Where will he shake on out? Crossing the line that time, and Barnhart goes to 9th. Not good enough to snatch away that pole position. So ladies and gentlemen, as I said, we will step on down trackside. We will be right back here on Turn 3 Racing Network for all your racing action. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof
back trackside, ready to get things fired off here today from Kentucky Motor Speedway for the first Triple Crown race here for the U.S. IndyCar League, presented by StickQuik.com. Organizers and fasteners, if you haven't already, head on over to StickQuik.com. Check out all the great products they got. Lots of great things for kitchens, shops, garages, whatever you need. If you need a little bit of help being a little more organized, as I know some of us do, they have some great things over there that you can go on and check out. Your starting order for tonight's race looks a little something like this. Starting pole position, the 31 of Robert Mitchell. To his outside, sneaking in a late qualifying time, the 15 of Luis Gonzalez. Row number 2, the 99 of Ben Wallace, followed by the 4 of Tim Keene. Row number 3, the 004 of Jason Lowe, and the 131 of Craig Forsyth. Row number 4, the 24 of Richard Kelball, and the 64 of Rick Lovison. Row number 5, the 13 of Howard Livingston, and rounding out your top 10, the 37 of Jonathan Barnhart. Row number 6, the 6 of Jeff Murray, and the 07 of David Zaleski. Rounding out the field here today in the 306 is Will Stearns, and we are set to get things fired off here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. Pace car lights are out. Flagman has it in hand, waiting to throw the green, and we'll get to green flag racing. There it is in the air. Robert Mitchell is gone. Green flag racing here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. Great start of the race by Robert Mitchell. He has the field well in hand. Now it's a battle between second, third, and fourth. Ben Wallace, he sneaks some of the positions away. He finds himself right there at the front of your picture. Falling back through the field a little bit is Tim Keene. He has dropped back into the fourth, almost fifth position now on that restart. Tough restart from him. Ben Wallace now battling for that top spot, looking to the outside of Robert Mitchell, going back into turns 1 and 2, off of turn 2, back down the back stretch. Looks like Robert Mitchell gonna prevail here, but a big launch off of 2. Looking to the bottom goes Wallace. Mitchell going to be forced to the top of the track. That's going to give the preferred spot to Ben Wallace. They'll shake out across the line that time by. Who did it go to? Looks like it was Robert Mitchell at the line. Now Ben Wallace retaking that top spot. Can he keep it when he gets back to the line, as we've got 3 drivers now battling for that top spot? Luis Gonzalez right there on the inside of Robert Mitchell, trying to make that inside lane work as he watched Ben Wallace make that pass. He's going to try to make that pass as well. Ben Wallace liking what he sees in his rear view, and that's 2 of these Dallara IR18 side-by-side racing. The entire pack all right there with each other still. We'll back up a little bit further in the field here, give you a little shot of what's going back around 5th, 6th, 7th position here. That is a lot of drivers all over each other right back here in that pack. There you see it right there, a little better shot of how everybody's grouped together and with each other still. Green flag racing here on lap number 5 out of 117 scheduled here in today's race. No green white checkers here for the US IndyCar League, so should we have a late race caution, if it's within that 3 to 5 lap range of the end of the race, that will put a fork in it and it will be done. We'll see if we can't keep this thing green flag racing for you the entire time. Field still all over each other. There you see drivers still jockeying for positions as we begin lap number 17. 117 is the total. 111 left here to run, and now look at that. Looks like Jeff Murray with a big run on Richard Kelball down the backside. Murray fading out of the screen for just a moment. Now you see him right there once again on the gearbox. We'll step up to ride with Richard Kelball here, see how he is faring out there with Murray right on his gearbox. Murray with a little bit of a moment, pushing up the track just a little bit. That's going to let Kelball squirt away for the time being. We'll head back to another camera and back up to the front where Robert Mitchell, still hot on the trail of Ben Wallace, still has Luis Gonzalez right there in the third spot, trying to see if he can't upset some of these U.S. IndyCar League veterans. And he's got a long race to do it, but you do got to keep in mind these cars are very, very fragile. Your night can be ended very, very quickly here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. A little bit of contact with the outside wall, and you can find yourself with some steering column damage. Possibly break one of those control arms on the car, and you'll find yourself with some heavy damage and trouble for the remainder of the race. All of these drivers doing one heck of a job out there so far. Still green flag racing, lap number 11 out of 117. We'll head a little further through the field now. Going to join this battle that's still raging on between 7th and 8th. Richard Kelball and Jeff Murray. There you see Murray in his black and yellow Wicks machine, trying to get up there and take that spot away. And just in front of Kelball, that's the 004 of Jason Lowe. He's trying to keep himself in that 6th spot and trying to break inside that top 5, but he is a half a second back from the 131 of Craig Forsyth. A little further through the field, Jonathan Barnhart not able to make up any positions from the start of the race as we watch Jeff Murray finally take that position away from Richard Kelball. Kelball looking back to the inside, not going to be able to get the job done heading into 3, so that's going to secure the spot for Murray, and he's going to try to set himself up to make a pass on Jason Lowe here in the coming laps. But as I was saying back here, battle between Howard Livingston and Jonathan Barnhart. Barnhart not able to pick up a position until now, and that position hasn't been secured quite yet. Now it has. Livingston conceding the position and gonna put Barnhart into the 9th position, now picking up his first spot of the race. Not much going on up at the front, so we'll join the battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th. There you see it. Luis Gonzalez way up the track. That's going to put Tim Keene and Craig Forsyth through. That's going to drop Gonzalez from 3rd to 5th as Keene and Forsyth battle it out now for the 3rd spot. Robert Mitchell sitting about a half a second in front of this 3-car tango, if you would. A little further in the field, just out of the screen view, Jeff Murray has closed in on Jason Lowe and has made the pass. There you see him down on the inside trying to complete it, and yes, he's going to be able to take that spot away as we now jump on board over the left-hand shoulder of Jason Lowe, looking out of his 004. He's trying to take that spot back, and there you see him running in the tire tracks of Luis Gonzalez just in front of him now. Great launch off of 4. He's going to close in with a big slipstream through the tri-oval here. Down into turn 1 once again, running a little bit higher. Wonder if that's a little bit of fuel, maybe saving some of them tires. Jeff Murray washes up the track in front of both of these drivers as they continue down into turn number 3 now with our onboard gyro cam here. Do want to give a big shout out and thank you to Jason Lowe for allowing us to put multiple onboard cameras on his 004 out there for us today, trying to bring you some great shots here from Kentucky Motor Speedway. Nothing going on at the front. Ben Wallace has a half a second lead over Robert Mitchell, running in second. Tim Keene running in third. Your top five looks like that. Finishing out that top five, Craig Forsyth in the 4th position. And then sitting in the 5th spot, Jeff Murray. Doing a good job coming up through the field. Jeff was back, I want to say right around the 10th, 11th position on the start of the race. So he's had quite a good start of the race so far. Just a little bit behind them. What has happened to Luis Gonzalez? He is falling through the field very, very rapidly. Now he finds himself all the way back in the 9th position. And Howard Livingston looking to try to take that spot away as Richard Kelball just goes by. That's going to put Gonzalez back to the 9th position, and not quite sure what has happened. The car looks fine. Everything looks clean. Maybe some fuel strategy already early here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. Could be trying to stretch this thing out to, I don't know, maybe a one-stopper. I think that's going to be a far, far stretch. But you never know what these crew chiefs and car engineers have on their minds. As we continue to watch Barnhart try to keep his IndyCar machine up in front of Luis Gonzalez, Howard Livingston, Rick Lovison, Will Stearns, all beginning to close in on these drivers battling for the 8th and 9th position. And that's allowing the drivers in front of them to get away from the field a little bit. Now Richard Kelball almost a second in front of this side-by-side battle down the backstretch. Now Gonzalez gonna peek back behind, look back to the inside, get a little clean air on the front wing, on the nose of this Dallara IR-18. Not able to make the pass. They're gonna fall in line once again, but he's got Howard Livingston all on his gearbox now. Livingston looking to the inside through 1 and 2 down the backstretch, gonna get the slipstream. Rick Lovison holding on to, whoa, little bit of a wiggle there by Gonzalez. That could have been disastrous if he had overcorrected. Great job by Gonzalez keeping that car under him after a big wiggle there in 3 and 4. That's going to let Livingston look to the inside. He's going to have the advantage in the center of the corner. Now on exit, Gonzalez surging forward with a great run on that high side. Gonzalez still maintaining that 9th position. Howard Livingston not able to take the spot away, and we're going to throw you your running order right there for you so you can keep track of all the gaps, times, and distances just as we can up here in the Turn 3 Racing Network broadcast booth. Up here in the production booth, want to thank everybody back at the headquarters for everything they do behind the scenes, always keeping things fresh and clean here at Turn 3 Racing Network. You're watching the U.S. IndyCar League presented by StickQuik. This is the first Triple Crown race of season number 6 here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. We've been green flag since the start of today's race. 30 laps in the books, 88 remaining in today's race here from Kentucky Motor Speedway. Ben Wallace now out to almost a 1 second lead over Robert Mitchell, who was your pole sitter. Wallace started in third, able to make a pass about 7 or 8 laps into this thing, and has not looked back since. He has got 28 laps, and I said 7 or 8. It may have seemed like it took that many, but it only took 2 laps before Wallace was able to take that top spot away. And it looks like the 306 of Will Stearns has hit pit road already. Early pit stop here for the 306. Wonder if there's any damage. We'll have to keep an eye on the pit delta, see if anything looks off. Gonna look through the field just a little bit. This is one of your closest battles on track, so we'll stay right here as we've got 2-3 cars now getting ready to heat things up. Just in front of them, Jonathan Barnhart in his 37 machine, only able to make up 2 positions from the start of the race. Barnhart has visited victory lane already here in the U.S. IndyCar League season number 6. So rookies making a splash. Rookies struggling a little bit here today, though. Maybe Kentucky has got a little bit of something that these rookies are just not accustomed to yet as far as tire wear, fuel management are concerned. Barnhart, as I had already stated, has been to victory lane this season, but he has not been able to do very much here today. And Luis Gonzalez, he started outside row number 1 and has since dropped all the way back at one point to almost outside of the top 10. He finds himself running in the 9th position now as things begin to start to stretch back on out again, just behind Gonzalez, Livingston, and Lovison, battling it out for that 10th position. Rick Lovison in his black and red 64 machine, looking to the outside now of Howard Livingston, and oh my goodness, a little bit of a moment there for Lovison. A little bit of connection blinky blink going on, as sometimes happens here in the virtual world, but nonetheless these drivers still give you all the great racing action that you could possibly handle here on iRacing.com, world's #1 racing simulator. In the 306 of Will Stearns with some big trouble. He finds himself back on pit road in his pit box, and they are beating and thrashing away at that machine. That's going to be a big-time mistake here for the 306, as he is going to be on pit road for quite an extended stay. That's going to leave us with 12 drivers on track. 13 took to the starting grid. 12 of them still out there running. Will Stearns now being shown 7 laps down as we reach lap 39 out of 117 scheduled here today in the official race distance. 79 laps remaining as we continue to watch Rick Lovison try to run down Howard Livingston and try to go up there and chase down Gonzalez, as Gonzalez has picked up the pace just a little bit. But some drivers changing some spots up at the front. Looks like Tim Keene has hit pit road as well. Early pit stops. Jonathan Barnhart also on pit road. We'll rejoin your race leaders as, oh my, what has happened with Ben Wallace? Did Wallace miss the pits last time by? We'll take a look as he's coming on to pit road this time. Robert Mitchell gonna retake the top spot. Gonna begin to pad his pocket for a possible point for the most laps led here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. Looks like Craig Forsyth has joined pit road. Rick Lovison in his 64 machine also down on pit road. One of the fastest drivers on and off pit road through this. Oh, bit of a lockup there for Robert Mitchell. That could spell trouble for him. Tim Keene, one of the fastest drivers on and off pit road. His pit delta, 35.3 seconds. So that is one heck of a job, not just by the driver, but by the crew. 7.8 seconds stopped in his pit box. The only driver with a faster pit crew is the driver he just went around, that 131 of Craig Forsyth, with a 7.7 stop in his pit box. So that 131 crew, man, they were feeling it and they got the job done. Your race leader up at the front, the 6 of Jeff Murray, as we continue to watch the 4 of Tim Keene, see where he shakes out after these green flag pit stops, and it looks like he's going to end up stuck right behind Robert Mitchell as Mitchell has rejoined the racing surface. There you see it. Keene with the run now, going to utilize that, see if he can't leapfrog. And that's exactly what he does. He gets right around Robert Mitchell. Now he's going to try to see if he can't go up there and run down Ben Wallace. Ben sitting about 2.5 seconds in front of these drivers, so that one lap coming to pit road, that one lap earlier than Robert Mitchell has yielded him about 2 extra seconds. When it's all said and done with, that is going to be a big time gain. Meanwhile, back up at the front, Jeff Murray continues to lead the field, yet to hit pit road are 3 drivers, Jeff Murray, Jason Lowe, as well as Richard Kelball. All 3 of those drivers staying out on track once again. Lap 46 out of 117 scheduled here today. Oh, and Murray on the brakes. He is on the brakes hard, slowed up very early. That's going to give the top spot now to Jason Lowe, as Richard Kelball has also hit pit road. So the entire field almost 1 lap down. If Jason Lowe stays out another lap or 2, he will have the entire field 1 lap down due to green flag pit cycles, and no Lowe going to bring it to pit road this time by. So that's going to put this man right here. First driver 1 lap down. Ben Wallace and his 99 machine going back around your race leader. That's going to put him back onto the lead lap, as well as the rest of the field should be able to secure themselves back onto the lead lap as Wallace. There you see the gap. 2.4 seconds separating him from his closest competition, and my goodness, it looks like those fresh tires are a premium here today at Kentucky Motor Speedway. As Ben Wallace continues to lead the field, 2.4 seconds. Battle is for the second position. Robert Mitchell trying to take that second spot back away from Tim King. Craig Forsyth with a great pit stop. He finds himself right there in the 4th position, and it looks like only 1 driver faster on the pit delta than Forsyth, and that was Tim Keen with a 35.3 second pit delta. So just 0.2 of a second. And there you see the gap that it has allowed Tim Keen to put over Forsyth. Gonna work our way through some house cleaning here. 13 drivers took to today's starting grid. We've still got 11 out on track on the lead lap. 2 drivers being scored out of the race. The 07 of David Zaleski gonna walk away with the 12th spot. Will Stearns in the 306 will finish out today in the 13th position. Nobody in danger of going a lap down just yet. Looks like Rick Lovison is about 6 to 7 seconds away from possibly losing a lap here at Kentucky Motor Speedway as we work ourselves closer and closer to the halfway point. 53 laps in the book. 42 remaining here from Kentucky Motor Speedway. Green flag racing for the entirety of the race so far here today from Kentucky Motor Speedway, and that just says a lot about the talent of these drivers, all out there on the loud pedals getting the job done. The man with the plan right now, fastest in happy hour, failed to grab that pole position away. Your race leader, Ben Wallace, he's had quite an I would call it an uneventful race here today. There you see him started in the 3rd spot, currently at the top of the charts, leading the field. And a driver that looks like he's made quite a few gains. We'll go back here, highlight him a little bit. Jonathan Barnhart, there you see it, making up some positions late through the middle of this race. Barnhart started in 10th, now up to the 6th position, and it looks like he is in danger of losing that spot as Jason Lowe in that 004 has just blew right on by Barnhart, as Lowe's tires are about half as old as Barnhart. Barnhart been out there for about 16, 17 laps, and Jason Lowe last pitted 8 laps ago. So the tires much, much fresher on that 004. And I tell you what, we're going to keep our eye on Jason Lowe as he tries to come up here and try to make another spot, try to grab another position away and work his way into the top 5. We'll jump on board now with Jason Lowe. And as we watch this battle rage on, last lap, Robert Mitchell was able to get by Tim Keene and take that 2nd spot away. Keene gonna fall to 3rd, and he is losing some time now. Already a half a second behind Robert Mitchell, and in danger of Craig Forsyth coming up and knocking him out of that 3rd and final podium spot. Great battle here on screen before your eyes, just above the driver's helmet of the 004 of Jason Lowe, as he continues to try to find a way around the 6 of Jeff Murray. Murray and his Wix machine keeping it held down there on the bottom line. You heard the little bit of blip on the throttle there for Lowe. All over the gearbox into 3 through the center. Off of 4, big running slipstream now by Lowe. Murray goes to the bottom, Lowe to the top. Turn number 1 there, side by side advantage still to Murray running that bottom lane, but Lowe gonna keep it wound up, and off of turn number 2, he is gonna walk away with the advantage now, as Murray looking back to the inside. Not gonna be able to get it done. Murray gonna give up that position to Lowe. Lowe now breaks back in to that top 5. This is your closest battle on the racetrack, so we'll stay right here. Do want to take the time to say thank you to each and every one of you, friends, family, fans, random viewers, stoppers, buyers, coming on over here and joining us Sunday morning for the U.S. IndyCar League, presented by StickQuik, each and every Sunday morning here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Shout out to all the league admins and everybody that gets the job done over there at the U.S. IndyCar League. If you haven't already and you're interested in trying to see if you've got what it takes to get on track with these IndyCar drivers, head on over to Facebook.com, look up U.S. IndyCar League, and see if you got what it takes. And if you've already got iRacing, you can check them out on the league directories. Hit the owners up, and they'll let you know if they think you're good enough to get on track and mix it up with some of the top caliber IndyCar drivers on iRacing simulator service, iRacing.com. Tons of content, tons of cars, tons of track. Everything scanned laser precision. Physics and aerodynamics are off the charts. I tell you what, if you've ever wanted to drive one of these Indy cars, or maybe it's a Cup car, or maybe a GT3 car, What's that? A Daytona prototype? We got that too over here on iRacing.com, and it would be a lot cheaper to put yourself in one of the cars here on iRacing. So head on over to iRacing.com for all your racing needs, wants. They got it covered. Still watching the 004 of Jason Lowe as he continues to try to run down Craig Forsyth. He finds himself about 8 seconds back, so we'll look through the field, through the timing and scoring, see if we can't find ourselves a little bit closer of a battle, and it looks like just in front of him, the 131 of Craig Forsyth has slowly caught and tracked down that 4 of Tim Keene. Keene now falling off the pace as Forsyth gonna make the pass, and not even a question, not even a fight out of that 4 of Keene. He just let Forsyth go right on by as these drivers continue to click off the laps here from Kentucky Motor Speedway. 69 now make it 70 at the line for all of these drivers. 48 laps remaining here in today's first Triple Crown race for the U.S. IndyCar League, presented by StickQuik, and Ben Wallace setting himself up for possibly being able to chase after those 20 extra bonus points should he find himself able to walk away with a victory today, and then able to come away with the race wins at Triple Crown race number 2 and 3 here in season number 6. Some great camera work out there to you today from the guys back at the offices at Turn 3 Racing Network. Great live car camera angles here today. Do want to thank each and every one of the drivers as well as everybody back at the headquarters for getting all these cameras set up, worked out, and ready to go. This is one of our zoomed in drone cameras. There you go. Now looking off of the left shoulder of your race leader, Ben Wallace. And man, I tell you, that is a beautiful, beautiful little shot right there. You get a little bit of everything. You see the drivers' helmets. You see their hands. You see that aero screen. And it is just these machines. I was not a big fan of these aero screens the first time I seen them and first time behind the wheel, but I tell you what, I have slowly begun to love them. They tend to be a little sweeter when you start getting some of these awesome liveries on them. And Ben Wallace gonna hit pit road early. Robert Mitchell hit pit road early as well. Mitchell hitting pit road the last time by, and that's going to allow Craig Forsyth now to take over the race lead. And I believe these drivers are stopping because the fuel window has opened. 41 laps remaining in today's Triple Crown race, live here from Kentucky Motor Speedway. And Craig Forsyth slowing down. He's going to bring his machine to pit road, and that's going to put the 004 of Jason Lowe to the top of the charts. Robert Mitchell being scored the first car 1 lap down after his second and possibly final pit stop. Ben Wallace barely hanging on to the lead lap right now, just in front of Jason Lowe. Jonathan Barnhart onto pit road. Craig Forsyth almost done with his stop. He's about to get dropped and be down and away. But Jason Lowe, the man at the front of the field, getting the job done so far. And just, I mean, the speeds here are absolutely phenomenal. I mean, 200 miles an hour at Kentucky Motor Speedway, that is just, wow. Jason Lowe continuing to stay out on the racetrack in the top spot. Jeff Murray right there, just a tick under a second behind. Richard Kelball also still on track. Luis Gonzalez running in the fourth spot. He has yet to hit pit road for his second and final time. Rick Lovison coming to pit road that time by. Now looks like Jason Lowe's slowing up. He's going to hit pit road this time by. Jeff Murray going to reassume the race lead up at the top of the speed charts now. Looks like we've had quite a few different leaders out there today. 5 different leaders. A ton of lead changes. I would say upwards in the 10 to 12 lead changes between those 5 drivers. As we continue green flag racing, we have been green from the start of today's race, and we have begun, or are just about done with our second set of green flag pit stops. Jeff Murray, Richard Kelball, Luis Gonzalez yet to hit pit road, and Murray, just as I say that, he pulls his Dallara IR18 IndyCar machine down pit road. Richard Kelball staying out on track. What will Gonzalez do? Gonzalez also staying out on track. But something I have noticed, a few of these drivers not a lap down to the drivers running in first and second. And that could be very, very dangerous for Richard Kelball and Luis Gonzalez. They could find themselves losing a lap late in the race, maybe running the long game right now as we watch your race leader Richard Kelball work his way back down the backstretch here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. This could spell a little bit of trouble because Ben Wallace is only 11 seconds behind Richard Kelball, who's slowing up, gonna hit pit road this time by, and onto pit road. Big gain onto pit road for Luis Gonzalez, but I do believe both of these drivers are gonna find themselves in trouble when they rejoin the race. Ben Wallace now being shown as your race leader once again. Go ahead and put the most laps led in the pocket of Ben Wallace. Wallace leading 66 laps of today's race. That's well over half already, and we have still got 32, make it 31 laps to go here from Kentucky Motor Speedway for the U.S. IndyCar League, presented by StickQuik. And once again, Ben Wallace adding an additional 2 seconds to his gap between his closest competitor. Robert Mitchell now finds himself 4.5 seconds behind the man on screen, Ben Wallace, who has led, I don't want to say the entire race, but pretty much the entire race. Only 19 laps of today's race have not went to Ben Wallace, so Wallace doing an excellent job out there, flexing his muscle here in Triple Crown race number 1 for the U.S. IndyCar League drivers. And while we've got the time, we're going to go ahead and do some house cleaning once again for you. 13 drivers took to today's starting grid. We have still got 11 drivers running on the track. 8 drivers remain on the lead lap, running in the 9th position. First car being scored 1 lap down is the 15 of Luis Gonzalez, and Gonzalez has not had the debut that he would like to have. Started outside row number 1 in the 2nd spot and has fell all the way back through the field into 9th, and now 1 lap down. Richard Kelbaugh, the 24, will be in 10th. Rick Lovison will be in 11th. All 3 of those drivers fighting it out for Lucky Dog if we should see a late race caution. But the man that does not want to see one of those is the driver on screen. This 99 of Ben Wallace and his Monster Energy Dallara IR18 IndyCar machine does not want to see that dreaded yellow flag fly as we work ourselves down the back stretch for lap 92 out of 117 scheduled for today's official race distance. 26, now 25 as Wallace crosses the line. Laps remaining here from Kentucky Motor Speedway. Battle now between Robert Mitchell, Craig Forsyth, Tim Keene. That's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Well away with the lead in hand, 5.5 seconds in front of Robert Mitchell and Craig Forsyth is Ben Wallace, and do apologize. That is actually Richard Kelbaugh, I believe, right behind. No, that is... Very, very interesting. Yes, that is Luis Gonzalez and Richard Kelbaugh right there behind Craig Forsyth and Robert Mitchell. Struggling a little bit there for just a moment to figure out who exactly was who. Still not quite accustomed to Gonzalez's paint job just yet. Newer driver, but I surely won't forget that white, black, and magenta IndyCar out there next week. And Richard Kelbaugh doing a fine job, finds himself inside the top 10 as we get closer to the 20 lap remaining mark. We are almost 100 laps into today's race, and this has been quite a torrent pace out there today for these IndyCar drivers. No cautions whatsoever. And we continue that race trend. Green flag since the drop of the green flag here at Kentucky Motor Speedway for U.S. IndyCar League, presented by StickQuik's Triple Crown race number 1. 2 more Triple Crown races remaining here in season number 6 for the U.S. IndyCar League. And who's got what it takes? Ben Wallace making his case. And unless he's got some issues late in the race here today, I believe Wallace is going to set himself up as being the only driver that would be eligible, because you got to win 3 of them, and there is only 3 of them. There's no 3 out of 4 here in the U.S. IndyCar League. It's either you get them all or you get nothing. So Wallace trying to set himself up as the only driver with that opportunity. Craig Forsyth losing a little bit of ground now to Robert Mitchell, who has scooted just a little bit outside of our picture. As we continue to keep our eye on Craig Forsyth, see if he's going to be able to re-track down that 31 of Robert Mitchell, looking through timing and scoring. And it looks like we do got a battle, and it is for position, but both drivers being shown 1 lap down. Richard Kelbaugh trying to take away that 9th spot from Luis Gonzalez. There you see Gonzalez just behind Craig Forsyth right now. Meanwhile, back at the front of the field, this man right here, the man on screen, let's see if we can't take a good look back into the eyes of the driver of this 99 machine, Ben Wallace. There you see him in his Monster Energy fire suit as well, getting the job done out here today. He finds himself at the top of the charts, top of the speed charts in happy hour. He's going to walk away with a point for the most laps led as well. So Wallace enjoying the day here at Kentucky, and what a beautiful day it is. Few clouds in the air, but great temperature out there. 77 degrees, 86 degree track temperature. So a great day for racing here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. Looking through the field, seeing if we see any battles developing. The only one still raging on at this point in time, Richard Kelbaugh and Luis Gonzalez. That is for 9th and 10th. They continue to switch that spot back and forth, trying to see if Forsyth is going to be able to run down Robert Mitchell. He finds himself about 0.6 of a second back. So while it is possible, he's not really making too many gains, so I'm not sure if it's going to happen or not. As Wallace continues to click off blistering paced laps here, only less than a half a second off of the fastest lap of the race, and that is 28 laps into a full entire run, and still running some tremendous lap times out there is your race leader. And oh no, what has happened to Jason Lowe? That 004 has had to come down pit road. Not sure if maybe didn't get quite enough fuel in the tank. He had enough to go to the end, I would assume, as we've got 11 laps remaining. Ben Wallace doesn't look like he's hitting pit road anytime soon. Looks like he's going to try to finish this thing on out. So tough break there for Jason Lowe, and that's what it was. He had to come back down to get fuel. Might as well get tires. Looks like he was down there for 8.4 seconds. Will anybody else make a third pit stop? We'll just have to wait and see if anybody's stretching it, or if Lowe is going to be able to get those fresh tires and enough fuel to get himself to the end and make up a few spots. Jason Lowe now being scored the first and only car 2 laps down in the 11th position. Your race leader continues to dominate the field. Robert Mitchell 5.4 seconds behind the man on the move, the man at the top of the charts, the man at the front of the field, Ben Wallace. And if the timing and scoring holds true, it doesn't look like Craig Forsyth is going to be able to chase down this man, Robert Mitchell. Looks like Robert Mitchell, although leading a few laps here today and walking away with the pole position points, he is not going to be able to secure a race win. Finds himself 5.4 seconds behind your race leader, and he's got a little bit of a gap, a little bit of safety cushion between himself and the third place runner, the 131 of Craig Forsyth, about 0.8 of a second behind Robert Mitchell. But Forsyth having a pretty solid run here today from Kentucky Motor Speedway. There you see it, started in 6th, has gained some spots here today throughout the race, and finds himself running in the 3rd spot as we continue to click these laps off under green flag conditions. Lap 112 out of 117 scheduled for today's race distance. 6 laps remaining, 5 when we cross the line this time by. And it looks like most of your battles are beginning to kind of fizzle on out. Your closest battle is between Robert Mitchell and this man on screen, and Craig Forsyth. He is trying to chase down Robert Mitchell. Almost a half a second separates these two drivers. Nothing to worry about for Forsythe behind him. For position, the 4 of Tim Keene finds himself 10 seconds behind these drivers. And I wonder if lap traffic is going to come into play at all, as we have got just 6 drivers now remaining on the lead lap. And although Forsythe has a driver right there on his gearbox, that is Richard Kelbaugh. He is not a driver battling for position, so don't look for Forsythe to hold himself up very much if he doesn't have to. Ben Wallace continuing to lead the field here today from Kentucky Motor Speedway. 2 laps remaining. Gonna look at the last driver on the lead lap back here, running in the 6th position, the 37 of Jonathan Barnhart, rookie driver here, doing a fine job, but not having the race that he would like here from Kentucky Motor Speedway. And Ben Wallace has taken the 1 to go, presented by StickQuik.com, back down the backstretch for the final time. The 99 of Ben Wallace sees it in front of him, just waiting to capture it off of turn 4, back through the tri-oval for the final time. Crossing the line, your race winner, Ben Wallace. Just behind him, the 31 of Robert Mitchell gonna cross the line now. The 131 of Craig Forsythe coming off a 4, gonna cross the line in the 3rd spot. Tim Keene crossing the line in the 4th position. Jeff Murray, Jonathan Barnhart, those drivers crossing the line as well, rounding out the 5th and 6th positions. Heck of a job by all these drivers out there today. We'll rejoin your race winner as he gets ready to give you a little bit of celebrations as we get things set up here for your post-race interviews here on Turn 3 Racing Network. There you see a very happy driver burning the tires off. One heck of a race out there for Wallace today. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back with your post-race interviews live here on Turn 3 Racing Network. Back live here at Turn 3 Racing Network, Kentucky Motor Speedway, for your post-race interviews for the Triple Crown race. Here for the U.S. IndyCar League, presented by StickQuik. Your race winner, getting the job done out there today. Not only being the fastest driver in happy hour, but walking away with a very dominant performance, leading almost 100 laps. Your race winner, Ben Wallace, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got it, Dave. How you doing?
I'm doing good, my man. Not doing as good as yourself, walking away with the points and the shot at a Triple Crown here.
Yeah, it was feels long overdue. We've had some ups and downs, but mainly downs the back end of last season. Last week we had some trouble getting off pit road. We clipped the track and ended up with a 26-second stop-go, which threw away that race. So I really needed to win and reaffirm the position and take myself forward in the championship.
Still a long way to go here in season number 6 for you guys in the U.S. IndyCar League. Do you think that now you need to focus any more on the last 2 Triple Crown races, being you're the only driver that's going to be now eligible for those extra 20 bonus points if you can win those other 2 races?
Yeah, I mean, embarrassingly, I'm going to have to check what tracks they are. But I'm going to try and push for that. But I'm going to take each week as it comes and try and do the same every week. The biggest thing I'm going to try and work on is consistency. We know we've got the speed in the car, so we're racing with a great bunch of guys who race hard, fair. So I just got to remain consistent and try and push forward.
All right, Ben. Well, once again, congratulations with a great win here from Kentucky Motor Speedway. Gonna walk away with not just the big points of the day, but set yourself up for a chance at that Triple Crown. Before we let you go and finish your celebrations, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, anything like that?
No, just a shout out to the league really and all the participants. Like I said a minute ago, we've got a great bunch of guys. Some new guys on board. We all like racing hard and fair, and we all take it seriously. So it's great to have everyone on board. It's great to have it broadcasted by yourself, and we're really pleased with that feature. So we like the league, and we're just gonna have to push it forward.
All right, my man. Well, we'll look. But if I could talk, I could tell you. We'll look forward to catching up with you next week at track.
Yeah, 10-4. Thanks, Dave.
There you have it. A few words from your race winner today, the 99 of Ben Wallace. And now let's see if we can't grab in a word or two with the with the driver walking away in the second position here today. Driver that took the pole position for today's race, the 31 of Robert Mitchell. It's Dave. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Hey, my man. How you doing? How you feeling after a great race and a great finish out there today?
Pretty good. Ben was on a rail. Congrats to Ben. He had some trouble last week, but he rebounded this week and took the Triple Crown race number 1. Congrats to him, but I'm feeling great, doing great in the points so far. Finished in the top 2 for the first 3 weeks, so we're pretty happy and very happy to have StickQuik on board as our sponsor.
Well, man, you mentioned Wallace overcoming his troubles as of late. Pit road was an issue for him last week, but today pit road seemed to be one of his strengths. Is there anything you think you could do with the pit stops? Do you think maybe you could get in a little bit faster, or is there anything you could do?
Yeah, the only thing I could do is to keep practicing and to improve. Once I can compete with my pit stops, I'll be forced to be reckoned with on the track. But so far, the last couple of seasons, the pit stops have been my downfall. But we're working real hard on it, and we're actually getting better each week.
Well, man, the practice is paying off. As you said, you've finished in the podium positions. Every race so far, top 2, as a matter of fact, for all 3 of these races in season number 6 so far. So the team heading in a right direction. You sound like you're heading in a great direction. So, man, once again, congratulations on walking away with a second place finish out there today. Although it may not have been where you want it to end up, still a great points day for you. Before we let you go, though, Robert, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Yeah, thanks. First of all the people that watch and all the members in this league that makes it what it is, and StickQuik for sticking with us. You can go to www.stickquick.com and order your parts. And you can organize anything, your garage, kitchen. Just you should check them out. It's awesome parts.
All right, Robert. Well, I appreciate you taking some time to talk to us after the race, and we'll catch up with you next week.
I sure hope so. See ya.
There you go. Some final words from the driver walking away in the second position here today. And now we will see if we can't get in a quick word or two with the driver walking away with your third and final podium spot. Craig Forsyth and his 131 machine. How you doing, bro?
Having a great day, it seems. Yep.
Yeah, you had some great pit stops there. Your crew was one of the fastest all day long. Just unfortunately not able to get up there and take that top spot away, but can't be too upset or sad about a third place finish.
No, Ben was in a league of his own. On that second pit stop, I had no expectation to come out that close to Robert. So it caught me unexpected, and then I lost track. I really only have 20 laps of good tires, and that went by way too fast. And once the tires wore out, there was no catching Robert either.
Well, man, it was a great run. Green flag from start to finish. Is that something that you and maybe some of the other drivers expected today here from Kentucky Motor Speedway? Because it seemed like some drivers were on a few different pit strategies, few different fuel strategies out there. So was today a green flag race expected, or were you surprised or caught off guard by it?
Honestly, I expected a caution, so having it go green all the way was a nice change. It was fun, but definitely wasn't how I'd drawn it up.
Yeah, man. Well, once again, one heck of a job out there today in not only today's race but the season so far. Doing a good job so far. 3 races into it, we've still got quite a few to go. But before we let you go and continue your celebrations and all your other obligations, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
I got to thank the StickQuik guys for sponsoring us, and got to thank my wife for putting up with me getting up bright and early first thing in the morning every weekend for this stuff, and the rest of the IndyCar guys for putting on a good race with us.
All right, well, Craig, we'll let you go, and we'll catch up with you next week on track.
You betcha.
There you go. That was some final words from your third place and final podium finishing driver, the 131 of Craig Forsyth. And ladies and gentlemen, I mean, that brings us to the end of today's program. Not much left for us to do here from the production booth, except run through some of your finishing order for you. So as we get that all queued up, we'll get ready to go. And it looks like walking away, top spot today, the 99 of Ben Wallace. Only driver now eligible for those coveted 20 extra bonus points at the end of the season if he can win the remaining Triple Crown races. Coming away in second here today, the 31 of Robert Mitchell, followed in third by that 131 of Craig Forsyth. Fourth place, the 4 of Tim Keene. Rounding out that top 5, the 6 of Jeff Murray, followed by the 37 of Jonathan Barnhart. 7th position, the 13 of Howard Livingston, and in 8th, the 24 of Richard Kelball. 9th spot, the 15 of Luis Gonzalez, and in 10th, the 64 of Rick Lovison. 11th position, the 004 of Jason Lowe, and in 12th, the 07 of David Zaleski. Rounding out the field here today from Kentucky Motor Speedway for Triple Crown race, number 1, the 306 of Will Stearns. And well, ladies and gentlemen, with all that being said and all that in the books, nothing left for myself, David Worrell, up here in the booth for me to do. So we're gonna start wrapping things up, start getting ready to head on out. So, once again, thank you for joining us here on Turn 3 Racing Network. I appreciate it. All these drivers appreciate it. If you haven't already, throw us a thumbs up, click subscribe, smash that bell on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on Turn 3 Racing Network. And, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. And, stay smart, stay safe. We'll see you soon here on Turn 3 Racing Network.